Everything you're about to hear is for entertainment purposes only. Listen, have some fun, but don't ever do, believe, or promote anything they say. They're idiots.
Guys, hold up. You should know, this ain't for everybody. Welcome to Savagely Loud. What's happening, people? Guys, welcome back to the show for the people that understand that facts divided by feelings equals failure. I'm Clip, I'm your host, and I am yet again joined by another friend of mine again for a second appearance, but we'll get to him right after the drill. Yes, if you want to help me out, get these truths out, get these words out, you can follow me on Instagram at SavagelyLOUD. That is where I'm most active. On that page, you'll find two links. One link is to the SavagelyLOUD Podcast page. If you could please follow me there too, that would be greatly appreciated because it will inevitably be my backup page. Outside, and then the other link you're going to find is a link tree, a simple link tree. Anywhere you want to view my media, view my videos, listen to my rants, or whatever like that, you'll find them in the link tree. Outside of that, you can follow me Facebook, X, and Rumble at Savagely Loud, YouTube at Savagely Loud Podcast. Currently, I just signed up for Substack, so I am now on Substack as well under Savagely Loud, and you can email me in at savagelyloud@gmail.com, which I really hope you do. You guys have been. I'm flooded every single day with a lot of all different sorts of communications, a lot of the conversations that I spark with my content online. We're having those conversations in email right now, and I appreciate the hell out of it. Last but not least, don't forget to like, comment, and share the material. Don't forget to rate the shows. It really, really, really does help. Way more than you could ever imagine to share the material and rate the shows. Give me a good review, 5 stars, do all that kind of stuff, and hit the follows, hit the click, the subscribes, and the notifications. You know the drill. So without any further ado, let's get to the guest. He's back for a reoccurring role, maybe. Here, we're working this out. The big bad Viking himself, Dave Anderson. How we doing today?
You know what? It's fucking Saturday. I'm doing great. How about yourself, man?
Thank
you for having me back.
Yeah, dude. We have such a good rapport, and everybody's been loving on it. You know, the conversations we had and the kind of interaction we've got together. So why not have you back, and we'll see how this works out, and maybe we get you back for a reoccurring role every single week as that second co-host kind of thing.
Let's do it.
So let everybody know where they can find you. Let them know about your show. Let them know what you're doing. Let them know.
All right, man. Well, I am the host of the Hammer Drops podcast. You can find me all over social media at the Hammer Drops, Facebook, Instagram, where I'm most active. I'm a little active on TikTok, but not as much anymore, mostly Instagram and Facebook. But in my profiles, you'll find a little link tree that you can find me everywhere. So definitely go check me out. Go check out the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and help me as well get out to more people and get that truth out to people. Because God only knows we fucking need it.
Yeah, we need as many awake people, not woke people, but awake people as we can possibly get.
Oh, me being woke? I'm sorry.
Yeah. You have the vibe of the wokeness. I can feel it through the screen. Just stop it. Everybody's judging it.
I can't handle this. I can't do this show anymore.
You're already vulgar, and we're not even 4 minutes in. So let's get started. Yeah, exactly. And we're going to get started pretty heavy. So let's get into some shit. Who wants to talk about this EBT crisis that we are seeing take the internet by storm?
Ooh. Can I touch on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Touch it all over the place.
Oh my God, I'm so sick of this shit. I really am. These motherfuckers wonder why they can't get nice things in their neighborhoods. Hey, we can't get food to feed our babies that we purposely had 6 to 8 fucking kids, just popping them out like fucking little dolls. And now they're all upset because they don't want to work, or they have to work 20 hours a week. Oh, I don't want to have to work. I want to be a bum. That's taxpayer money that goes to us. That's our reparations. Fuck you. I'm over it. Get a fucking job.
Fuck you, I'm over it. That is about as good as it fucking gets for description of this shit. Fuck you, I'm over it. We're all over it. That's the whole thing. God. We're all over it. Even most of the I wouldn't say most, but even a lot of the black community is over it because every single day I'm talking to more and more and more and more black folks that are just absolutely over this modern day nigga culture, they call it, that that just leads everybody to believe everybody in the entirety of the black race is just an absolute fucking pile of shit. Right?
Yeah. Well, and unfortunately, that's what makes people look at them like this because they expect it all the fucking time. It's like, it's a little thing called becoming a productive member of society for a fucking change instead of, hey, let's go commit murders and rob people and da 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 da.
It's pretty incredible. Like when you really start watching the videos and you start really breaking down the mentality, just trying to get into the heads of the, I think the hardest thing for me isn't to understand, isn't necessarily the state of understanding of why they want a free life. It's trying to understand how they got that programming so deep where they believe that they actually deserve it. Like you just said, they feel like they're owed it. And that's the hard part to try to figure out here.
No, exactly. It's like, how are you owed it? And then, then they go into that whole, I've saw some videos where they're saying, well, this is our reparations. We deserve this and blah, 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 blah. But blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, I just want to reach through the fucking screen, smack them.
Yeah. When it comes to reparations, I'm fucking over that shit. Like I was never on board. Okay. So here's the thing. Like when it comes to reparations, anybody that tells me reparations should be a thing, I'm just going to tell you to go fucking running headlong off of a bridge. Right. Because it's bullshit. Okay. So, and I've seen the videos that you're talking about, people saying, well, this is our reparations. Well, good. When the fuck does it end? And why are we only giving it to certain people? And how come here's the thing. Let's just say, let's pipe dream a little bit here. And let's just say, I don't know, that I agreed with giving certain certain parts of that demographic of black people, reparations. I can promise you from my core that it wouldn't be the lazy do-nothing motherfuckers that just pop out kids for state checks. That would be the last motherfuckers that'd be getting a damn red cent from me. If you told me like we're gonna make reparations now, we're gonna have reparations no matter what. You get to pick, but they are gonna happen. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna pick black business owners. I'm gonna pick black community leaders, but real leaders, not the ones that are out in the community telling all the black people to hate white people. I'm talking about community leaders like a guy online that I'm fucking, the guy's awesome. His name is Westcott Lauren, and he's a black dude, and he just takes it to the blacks. He's just like, I just watched a video of his, and he said, he's like, motherfucker, he's like, you all say that, because he made a video about, black people being shit, whatever, certain demographics of them. And somebody's like, it's not about who killed, because he'd asked, who killed your uncle? Who killed your friend? Who killed your buddy? It wasn't a white man. It was a black man. And then so he was replying to a comment where somebody's like, it's not about who killed them. It's about who made the system that forced people to do that and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, if the white man brought you a bucket of rat poison, are you going to fucking eat it? Well, if you ain't going to fucking eat it, then shut the fuck up.
Right. No,
and that's really what it comes down to is like, when does accountability start? Like when does the reparation talk, the free life talk, the everybody owes me stuff talk stop? And when does accountability start? When do we get this certain area of the black demographic to look in the fucking mirror and say, hey, you are the fucking problem. How can we fix this?
Well, and I think it has to start with, unfortunately, our politicians, because our politicians in the media just have this way of them just to spin this narrative. And, there's so much racism in America. There's so much of this and that. But when you look at statistics, it's more interracial crime that happens than you don't see white people going and harming black people. I mean, I think it's like 8% of white people do that. I ran some statistics before the show. So like 8% of white people have committed crimes to black people. And like for like severe crimes like murder and stuff like that. Whereas over 18% have, black people have done it to white people. And I'm sure those numbers are a little skewed because those are from I think the only thing I was able to really find was 2019. And then, but in a whole, if you look at it interracially, it's up to almost like it's like 86% of black on black crime, but yet we're not talking about that.
Right. Well, we never want to talk. We never want to talk when black people are responsible for the problem. Just like when it comes to slavery, we don't ever address where we got the inventory. We don't ever address the Arabs that killed more black slaves than anybody in history. We never address that.
Well, why don't we address that? Why don't we address that real quick? Why we're in the situation we're in, and maybe the black community will understand that. Looking at the white man for reparations, they shouldn't be. Why don't you go back to your home country in Africa and get your reparations from them? Because they're the ones that wrapped you all up in a nice little bow and sent you all over fucking the world. So, and you all cry that you want to go back to Africa. It's such a beautiful place. Yeah, go back there. See how fast you become a slave again.
Yeah, let's see how long you last in the fucking Congo with this entitled spirit of fucking everybody owes me something. Tell the hippo that he needs to make you fucking dinner, huh? He'll make you dinner, all right. He'll make you into dinner.
Yeah.
But
you will.
That's the huge thing is my thing with the black community is every single fucking day we listen to the rhetoric, and that's all it really is. It's rhetoric-based programming, and they, at the same time that they're spitting all this rhetoric about how white people are so fucking evil and how black people are so amazing, they always fail to stop for a second and realize how fucking stupid they actually sound, because at the very same time they're spitting all that, they're talking about how brilliant black people are. Now, that's not to say there's not some brilliant black people out there. Right. There is. There has been historically. But en masse, at least what we see outwardly, the masses of the United States and the world abroad, what we see of the black community is a bunch of fucking entitlement, a bunch of violence, a bunch of vile, absolutely wretched mentalities of entitlement and victimhood. This is what we see. So my question to the black community has always been, one of them anyway, has always been and will always be, if you believe you're so smart, why do you never stop to take a second and think about new information? Because every smart person out there will tell you, every intelligent person out there, and I do believe there is a difference between being intelligent and being smart. Intelligent is like, I can build a rocket on a molecular structure. Smart is like, I think I'm going to stay away from that group of black dudes on the street corner at 10 o'clock at night that are just all wearing the same colors, holding guns. I think I'm going to stay away from that. So there's a difference between intelligent and smart. But if you're so smart, all these smart people, all these intelligent people always say the key to being intelligent is to continue growing your intelligence, and you can't do that without assessing new information. But every time you give these fucking retarded ass black people, the ones that are out here whining about all this shit, every time you give them new information, all they do is shut you down, call you a racist, and walk the fuck away.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and let's, and that's the thing. And, I want to reiterate one point, and it's not the whole black community in a whole that is like this. Because, I mean, there are people in these neighborhoods that are stuck there for reasons that, whether it's they're not making enough money, whether they got screwed over, whatever the reason is, there's people in these communities that are still trying, but unfortunately they're overrun by the problem. Yeah. And I think people need to understand that it's like, and that's why the ones that can get out, they move out to the suburbs, and so this way, they know their kids are going to be able to get a better education, have a better chance at something more than what they would have in those communities. Right. And, that ties into what I always say, like, because my content's incendiary and it's pro-white. Doesn't mean it's anti anybody else, but it's very pro-white, because that's my stance. My biggest goal right now is to get every other race of people, especially the black community, to understand we created a lot of shit. In fact, we built the whole world that you live in. I know you want to say that you built America, and you didn't. Right. You picked cotton. That didn't build America. You built a couple of things. You didn't build America. If anybody built America, it was the fucking Chinese, because they're the ones that put the railroad in. And the railroad was the pivotal fucking role it played a pivotal role in the industrialization of this country.
But
Yes.
my big thing is I'm not anti all black. I'm not anti all Mexican, but however, I'm also not pro all white people, because just like there is shitty black people that are dragging the black culture down, there are shitty white people that are selling white people up the river every single fucking day. Like in my last episode, I just in the mind of Savagely Loud, I referenced our administrations, our presidential administrations. Most of the administrations throughout this country in America and most other fucking, Western European cultures and countries, we're all white. All the administrations are white. And they're the ones selling everybody up the river. So to come out here and say all white people are fucking phenomenal is just as ridiculous as saying all black people are fucking scum of the earth. We've got our demographics inside our demographics. The problem is that the black people are so fucking that aspect, that facet of their reality, of their culture has taken over so heavily, so hard that the good ones can't drown out the noise that the bad ones are creating. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I would 100% agree with that. I mean, you see that same rhetoric in the white community. You see that same rhetoric in the Hispanic community, where they, there's white people that feel that they're owed this. There's Hispanics that feel that they're owed this, because that whole rhetoric is just being played over into each demographic. And so it's just, when is it going to stop? It needs to stop, because all it's doing, and, our government is, there just to make sure that we stay divided. And by doing this, it's going to keep on dividing everybody, because people are going to get sick and tired of these liberals that feel like they're owed something. And it's like, nobody's owed anything. Nobody's owed anything in life. You work for it, you bust your ass for it, and that's the American way. You don't, it's like me holding out my hand. Hey, I deserve millions and millions of dollars. I want it now. No, it doesn't work like that. And it goes, and you can take that with, the EBT, you can take that with all of that stuff. Nobody's owed shit. Yes, food is a human right. Every human deserves to have food, but if you're taking advantage of a system, you don't deserve it. You need to do something to make yourself better. And why would you want to continually live a life in that cycle? Whites, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, whatever. If you're in that cycle, all you're showing is you're the next generation, your kids, that this is the cycle that you're going to live in. Why wouldn't you want to do better? Right.
It's called being a fucking parent.
Well, it's called being a parent. It's called just being an adult.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty fucking wild.
You think I like waking up at 3:30 in the morning and driving into Milwaukee to work and then being done with work at 6 o'clock at night? No. Fuck no. I do it because I need to provide for my family. I do it because I have bills to pay. I do it because I like to be able to go out and do things and not be dependent on the government. Because once you're dependent on the government, they own you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
and that's it.
Once you give your power up, they never give it back. They always take your power from you under the guise that they're going to give it back after this crisis. Oh, yeah. And it's never been given back. Power relinquished is very rarely returned, if ever returned. And yet we still see people just throwing their power back at the government. Like, yeah, do it. And then when it comes to, oh, fuck, dude, I just totally lost my train of thought. Oh,
there it is.
When it comes to the black community and the entitlement thing, they're not the only ones that are entitled. Like, I see some really fucking shitty, embarrassing fucking white women online talking about how they're fucking EBT, this and that and the other fucking thing, and their SNAP benefits and all this other shit. I think what we should do, it's important to address is that the American dream, right? Everybody has this romantic idea of what the American dream is because of what it's been sold to us as. I'm 43. I don't know how old you are. Probably somewhere right
50.
Around there. Okay, so you're
I'm
50. So we grew up in the same world. The American dream was always taught to us as the mansion, the beach house, the fine cars, the fine dining, the top notchest of everything, all the greatest finishes, all the greatest shit. But when I think back, it was never ever taught to us. Not one single second of our education was spent teaching us that we had to work for that. And we had to work our fucking nuts off for it. The more you wanted, the harder you had to work. And I never remember any single fucking teacher ever, never any single piece of curriculum ever saying that it was harder than you'd ever imagine it would be. And I think if we could move the educational system, and this is why I blame teachers for almost every single fucking problem we have in this country. People say it's the government, it's this, it's that. No, it's the fucking teachers. It's always the fucking teachers, because they are at the forefront of educating the people that are coming up through the fucking ranks of life. And they educate them so piss poorly because they want that fucking paycheck. And they want 12 months worth of paycheck, and they want 12 months worth of benefits to work 180 fucking days. That's why you're a fucking teacher, because you want a BMW, but you want your summers off. So,
let's not forget. They also want to make sure when they retire, they have that huge pension check as well.
There you go. They want to lock themselves in for good. And it's very obvious that 99% of the teachers out there, I won't say 100%. I always reserve 1% of any judgment for the anomalies, right? But 99% of the fucking teachers out there are selling every fucking student they come across, regardless of race or religious backgrounds or whatever. They're selling every single student up the river so that they can maintain a paycheck for doing as little fucking work as possible for as long as for as short a time per year as possible, with the biggest outcome possible, the biggest payoff possible. Like I said, they want that Beamer, but only want to work 180 days instead of fucking 365 and, blah, 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 blah. But that's why I always get into the teachers being the problem.
Well, and they are, and I could speak of that firsthand. When I was in high school, I had a rough go. I got in a lot of trouble back in those days. And, as soon as I thought I was coming back to school, because I had to take about a half a year off for some trouble I got into. And when I came back to school, I thought it was going to be a fresh start. That's what they all said, okay, cool. And the first thing, within it was probably about a month back at school, I had a teacher come up to me. And the next thing I know, I'm down in the dean's office. I have no idea why. So I go talk to him. I'm like, he's like, Mr. Anderson. I'm like, Mr. Horgan. I put my feet on his desk. I'm like, what's up? And he's like, you know why you're here? I'm like, no, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm on the straight and fucking narrow. I'm trying to just fucking learn, He's like, well, you're here because the teacher went by you and said that you smelled like pot. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And he's like, no. And he's like, of course he said, watch your language. You can't talk to me like that. I'm like, right. All right, whatever. So he's like, well, then he realized that I didn't smell like pot. I'm like, okay. He's like, okay, you're free to go back to school. And I ran into the teacher in the hallway, and she just was pissed that the fact that I didn't get kicked out of school, because that's what she was trying to do. I never got along with this teacher. And this is the same teacher that had me in ISS for 6 months. Like literally, like for most of my junior year in high school, I was in ISS because of this one teacher. And she walks by me, she gives me this dirty look, and I knew it was her because that was the one teacher that I saw. It was Mrs. Davidson, real piece of shit. And we used to have those metal beams that go down in the middle of the door. And as I walked by her, I just lost it. I fucking hit the metal beam. I just hauled off and hit. I'm like, you fucking cunt. Because I'm here trying to do better. Yeah, I have a stigmata because I got in trouble. I did some shit. But, everybody's allowed a second chance. And here you are already trying to take that away from me in less than a month being back to school. So I hit this fucking thing, and the next thing she comes around, oh, you're going back down to the fucking principal's office, blah, blah, blah. And she takes me back down there. And what happens because I did that? I got kicked out of school for 3 days. Because I hit metal. I hit a metal door because I was showing I was violent. It's like, and then I looked at the principal. I'm like, what do you expect me to do when I'm being accused of something I didn't do? You're accusing me of something. She's accusing me of this. I didn't do it. Obviously, you can smell me. I don't smell like anything. I might smell like cigarette smoke because I was a smoker. But I'm like, look in my eyes. They're white. They're not red. I'm not squinting. I'm not having any of that shit. And he's like, well, unfortunately, because you hit that, you showed violence, you gotta, you're out of school for 3 days. I'm like, so I looked at him like, fuck you. And I walked out.
Yeah.
And of course, a phone call went to my parents.
Yeah.
Because of that altercation. And, once I explained it to them, they're, my parents were like, you stood up for yourself. I'm not going to punish you for being in the right. You're not in the wrong in this one. I was like, oh, okay, thanks.
Shit's changing.
Right. But I mean, these teachers, they're just, nowadays they're so horrible. I mean, I even got thrown in like the special classes or whatever, because they're like, you're just not learning the stuff quick enough and all this, and granted, I didn't do any of the homework. I wasn't paying attention because I was bored. It was just the stuff they were teaching, I figured I'm never going to use. And I was right. Yeah. I never used any of this shit. The only thing that I really enjoyed was like history. I loved history. But the funny thing, and one thing that really pissed off my teachers the most, was when I wouldn't do any of the homework. I would be borderline an F for the class. But because of the exams that came up, I would always ace the exams. Final exams, I would ace them. And they're like, and I wouldn't even study. And the teachers are like, you're cheating. I'm like, no, I'm not cheating. Well, how do you know this stuff? How do you pass these tests? It's like, well, because a lot of it's common sense. And, I'm a little bit smarter than you're giving me credit for. Just because when I'm sitting in the class, I'm absorbing what you're giving me. But homework and all that stuff, I just never got into. But it always drove them nuts because I would just ace all the finals and pass the class and get out. So it's just like,
yeah, that's a lot of how my high school career went. I think they said at the end it was like 47% of my high school career was spent in ISS, which is in-school suspension. And for anybody that doesn't have in-school suspension in your particular education facilities or indoctrination facilities, they just take the bad kids and they don't want to give them a vacation out of school because they know you just have fun. So they they make you come to school and then you sit in a single classroom all day and you're not allowed to talk, not allowed to do anything. You're suspended, but you're basically, it's like a day long detention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I spent a lot of time in school suspension reading psychology books so I could fuck with every single fucking teacher that came at me, but, yeah, that's a lot of how my school, my entire school career was. I hated the work. Like I'm here fucking 8 hours a day. Why the fuck do I need to go home and spend another 2 hours doing some shit that should have had time allotted for it while I'm here? When my dad goes to work, he doesn't come home and have to do more work for that job. When my mom goes to work, she doesn't have to come home and do more work for that job. Why the fuck am I supposed to just give up my entire life for this? And none of it makes any fucking sense of why we're even learning any of this shit. None of them. 90% of what you learn in American school systems, you don't ever use. You never use. Remember the greatest one? Well, you won't always have a calculator. Bitch, look what happened. Every single person on earth has, even the fucking poorest people in the back sticks of fucking India have a calculator in their fucking pocket. I don't need to know the square root of 12,342.6. I can fucking put it in the calculator. Yeah, every single person. Yeah. Every single person.
And if you have one of these watches, it's right there too. I mean, come on.
I don't have one of those watches. I like jewelry type watches. I like the silver and the golds.
I have one of those too, but I wear those I wear that on a special occasion.
Dude, you know what? That's the thing is I've wanted an iPhone watch, because I'm in the iCult. Like I've been everywhere. I've been to the Androids and I've been to the Google phones and I've had the HTCs and the fucking Samsungs. Nobody has a phone that's as good as Apple. They just don't. And if nothing else, maybe, just maybe, you'll find a phone that works better than an Apple, which I highly doubt, but it's nowhere near as secure. Like the last time a couple of years ago, I took the whole family. The whole family was tired of iPhones because we had iPhones for so long. We want something new. So we fucking switched to Android. I took the whole family, all 6 of us motherfuckers over there, and I got everybody brand new phones, top of the line, latest, greatest shit. And it wasn't a month. And we were all like, these fucking things suck. All they do, like because we've got a rule, like no phones on the table at dinner. So it's like, that's our time. Right. All our phones just sat there on the fuck, in the kitchen or in our pockets or whatever. All you heard is ringing and buzzing. Because it was fucking sales calls. Like every fucking call on earth gets through to a fucking Android phone. I don't know why anybody would want those fucking pieces of shit. But I also have to flip side that with, I could also understand why people have a thing against Apple. Their proprietary software, which is going away or has gone away now with the especially the chargers and the headphones and all that other stuff. It's kind of gone away. But I could totally understand not wanting to be pigeonholed into that. And I also understand, like, if you've got, I run everything on PC. I don't have, the only Apple thing I have is an iPad and a phone. I don't have an Apple, I don't have a Apple laptop or PC, or anything like that. So I can understand, like, not needing it, quote unquote, to link up all together. I do want to try some Apple computer type shit because, like, I'm a designer and Apples are hands down rated the best for design, graphic design, digital design. But they're fucking expensive, man. You can get a fucking HP at the same level as an Apple and pay half. Yeah. So it kind of pulls me back from it. But yeah, it's my school, like I said, my school career was the same. And a lot of the thing is like you had touched on, like, no, you're kind of acting like I'm not as smart as I am. Like you're giving me credit for being dumber than I really am. And you're not allowing me to flex my muscles and to, do this and that and the other thing. So you get bored. And I was the same way. Like, I was not a genius. Don't get me wrong. I was not a brilliant fucking kid. I just knew life. I didn't know the math. I knew life. I knew I liked history and science. And I liked the teacher in English class because she was fucking smoking hot. But other than that, that's what I liked.
All the teachers that I had were...
I had a handful of fucking hot ass teachers growing up, and it was fucking awesome. There was a couple of teachers that were even hotter than the ones I had, which I was sad that I didn't have those. But I guess it was better for the long run because I would have never gotten anything done.
I got to crack something here. If I had some of those hot ass teachers when I was in school, bet your ass I'd be trying to fuck them. And I wouldn't say shit to anybody about it. I'd just be like, I'd be like, that's my boy, from that Adam Sandler. I'd be like, I'd fuck my teacher. I wouldn't say shit and be done with it. But, I know that's probably bad to say because that's, that'd be pedophile, And
oh, you're not a pedophile. If you're a kid fucking adult, you're good to go. You're the big pimp.
Whew. All right. Well, I'll be the pimp then. I'd fuck a hot teacher if I was back in school.
Well, isn't that weird based on just that, like how off it is? Like, if those tables are turned, like if you see, like we go on the internet as men, right? We go on the internet and we see a story of a teenage male fucking his hot ass female teacher. We're like, go you, dude.
High five.
But if you reverse those tables and you're like, and you got this fucking this dude teacher that's fucking this young girl, we're like, dude, you need to fucking bury that motherfucker under the prison.
That is true. Yeah, that's not right.
Right. Like Joe Rogan has a bit where he talks, and I'm not going to do the bit, I'll butcher it, but it's a bit talking about, remember that old commercial? And I remember the commercial. I've seen it where it had the baby and I think it was some shaving cream or some shit. And it was like, for that baby soft feel. And baby's in a suit and he goes to a party and all this other shit. And all these women are hanging on him. If you were to fucking turn the tables on that and it was a bunch of fucking grown men hanging all over a fucking small girl, it'd be like a Muslim convention and it would be a fucking problem for everybody. But because it was women hanging all over a small little dude, there's no issues.
Well, when you see a Muslim walking with a goat and a child, one of those is the wife and one of them's the girlfriend.
I was going to say one of them's the mother. And real quickly, based on this humor, I don't apologize at all to the Muslim community. Your religion is fucking trash. Go fuck yourself. So,
deuces.
Any religion that defends men marrying children and consummating marriages as early as 6 years old is nothing I have anything to fucking say anything positive about. I don't give a fuck. You could do anything you want. You could build an entire utopia across the fucking entire fucking land of Africa that's free to live and gives you everything great on earth, and I would still think you're the world's biggest piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. They are definitely the world's biggest pieces of shit. Because, I mean, they'll force those kids into marriage.
Oh,
kids
yeah.
don't want it.
I watch the videos. Like, I hate watching the videos, but
disgusting.
I watch them.
Well, I've had two brothers that served over in Iraq and stuff. And just some of the stories I've heard, you know, how, I mean, even over there, they'll use the children, women and children as shields as they're shooting at the military. And it's like, they don't care. Oh. You know, it's like, and those people... You know, you got a lot of desert over there, right? Why don't we just round them motherfuckers all up, put them in the nice spot in the desert, you know, for their final burial and just drop a fucking bomb on them?
Right.
Done.
Well, it's like ghettos. The only way to fix the ghetto is to build a wall around it and start it on fire. Don't let anybody out. And I understand this is harsh, and I'm not saying anybody should do it. So don't take these words, twist them out of context. I don't think that you should do it. I'm only saying, like, we see these community leaders in these hellhole areas, and these hellhole areas never get any better. And but the community leaders are always begging for money to fix the area. The only way you can fix the area is to get rid of the people that inhabit it, because it doesn't matter how you could make every fucking take North Chicago, Illinois. You could make every building in that place made out of solid marble and gold. And as long as you left the population of North Chicago in North Chicago, the only thing that's going to happen to those buildings is they're going to get ransacked and torn down and looted and fucking sold to pawn shops. Like, you got to get rid of the fucking population, that third world mentality first.
Oh, and unfortunately, I'll never go. But I mean, even on that though, with the politicians, they're asking for more money for this and that to better the community, and yet you go, you know, people would donate to that cause, right? And yet you still go to these communities and they still look like shit. So it's like, well, where is that money going? I bet you it's going in your back pocket. Hey, where'd you get that brand new BMW or Cadillac from? Oh. Okay, now I know where you got it from.
Yeah,
all that money that was donated.
Yeah,
and
it's starting to make sense now.
I was reading an article about a gentleman, I believe it's in DeKalb. It's a black guy. You know, he was with a school, and he was basically stealing all the money that was being donated to some of the programs in school. He was like a superintendent of the school district, and he stole a lot of that money. And now he's, you know, he got arrested finally on federal charges and all that stuff. And now he's going through the process, but it's like, why would you do that? You know, you ask for money to, and that's why I say, you know, especially with politicians in these communities that we need more money for this. We need more money for that. But yet nothing ever changes. I mean, it's the same thing, even with the school districts when they're asking for money and the things aren't happening that they say they're going to happen. You know, it's just like, well, where's that money actually going? But people are afraid to ask that very question. Like, where is that money at? Where's the accountability for that money? And nobody wants to hear the truth. And half the time the money is being taken by the person that's asking for it. And it's being used for themselves in a lot of different scenarios.
You know what I would say is I would say that nobody wants to ask, you know, what you said, nobody wants to ask the question. I think what it isn't so much that nobody wants to ask the question. I think everybody wants to ask the question because they want to look virtuous to anybody. They want to look like they're actually standing up for something. They're not, but they want to look like it. The problem comes for me is nobody wants to have the answer. Because once they get the answer, like if they ask, where's all the fucking money going? And then the guy comes out and says, well, I took it. And depending on the color of that dude and the community he lives in, if that's a black dude in a black community, the black community is going to be like, no, that's not it. He's trying to cover up for somebody else. It was probably a white guy in there that stole it all. And he's paying him to fucking, to take the heat because that's what black people do. Black people always got to take the heat for white people. I think that's the bigger problem is nobody really wants the answer. And I say that nobody really wants the answers coming from a guy that I give answers. Like, people ask me, they'll straight up ask me, like, what do you see wrong with my life and what I'm doing and why I can't get my shit back on track? Because I'm a personal coach, not by trade, but people turn me into this. They always want my opinion on shit. And then I tell them, and they don't want nothing to do with it. Like, it's not that. It's not that. Yeah, because everybody fits into the gray area, especially you. You're always special. You're always different. It's always an alternative circumstance that will validate whatever you feel about you, that will allow you to continue living this way, but also wonder why it's not a great way of living. You know what I mean?
Right. No, exactly. It's. And it falls, you're right. They don't want to hear the answer. They think, a lot of people, unfortunately, they feel that, oh, I'm not bad. I wouldn't necessarily say perfect, because there's no human that's perfect. Everybody has room for growth.
Speak for yourself, motherfucker. I'm as perfect as it gets. Look at this. Men are supposed to have fatness all over them, and
we're perfectly round.
Yeah, round is a shape. I'm in shape. Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. Oh shit! Welcome to the show, folks. This is what you get.
Welcome to fucking Savagely Loud. This is my shit show.
Oh fuck! I just completely lost my train of thought there. That was good.
But yeah, nobody wants the answers. They want to ask the questions to feel virtuous, but they don't want to hear the answers.
No, and it's like, yeah, and it goes. It goes all across the board. They don't want to know the answer to anything. They just want to live in a box and have these blinders on. And then, this is my life. There's nothing else outside of this, and that's unfortunately how everybody wants to live. And it's like, you need to drop those blinders and see the whole world for what it truly is. If you can't see the world for what it truly is, you'll never be able to fix it. And by having your blinders up continuously, the problems are going to still exist. Maybe not in your little bubble of a world that you got going on, but the problems are still there. They're never going to be addressed. They're never going to be fixed. And the questions that you want to know that you're too afraid to ask, or you don't have the balls to ask because you don't want to know the answer, and that's all part of ego. You got to drop the ego and fucking hear the truth.
Yeah.
And until you can do that, you're just going to be this walking pile of garbage that thinks that you're right, and just it's not like that.
Well, that's what I've got in my bios on my social media sites. My bios all of them. They say, normal dude who figured some shit out. In order to change your reality, you must first embrace it. Every single one of my bios says that, because that is the fucking key to changing anything, is embracing the reality that is you. You cannot fucking change yourself nor anyone else unless you're willing and capable and able to accept the reality of yourself. We've all had to do it at some point in time. And in fact, I would say that the most successful people on earth are the ones that have done it the most often. They're the ones that sit down religiously and assess what they're doing, what they're thinking, how they're feeling, the trajectory in which their life is heading, and they always make these small minor adjustments. Okay, like I was thinking I was this, maybe I'm not quite that yet. Let's pull back on that. But on this other thing, like, let's go forward a little bit. Let's push this a little ahead a little bit, and we can get some things working. And that's where I always, where my content comes in is, I always say my content sparks the conversation. Okay. My internet content, my social media content, that's where we spark the conversation. The podcast is where we have the conversation. Right. Yes. And most people aren't willing to have the conversation because they're not willing to embrace the reality that they're going to be told during the conversation. If all black people, like, I'll tell you what, I get so many people, so many black people, especially dudes, emailing me, most of which are coming around to not be like starting out with, you're a whore or some dumb shit like that.
Yeah.
But I get a lot of communications from black dudes, and it starts one way and it always, every single time, ends the other way. It ends with them going, oh, dude, you know what? You're not what I thought you were. I can respect the fuck out of you for what you're doing, because I tell them, the only way that we can get ears, the only way we can get these conversations started, because, again, every single person you talk to, of every single person, let me put it this way: every single person you talk to, of that number, 99.9% of them only want to look virtuous, which is why they say we need to have the conversation. It's that last shred, that last 0.1% that actually wants to have the conversation, because they know that in that conversation is going to be information or perspectives that they don't have already, and that they can use in addition to what they view the world as it is. And they can change. They can alter their reality. They can alter their perception, and they're willing to accept that. But most people aren't willing to accept that. So but they all say we have to have the conversation. So then it comes like people like us. We have to get out there and we have to be fearless. We have to be loud. We have to be shocking. We have to jolt their ego hard enough to piss them off, because that's how the best conversation starts. And for anybody out there, okay, let me interject. For anybody out there trying to do what I do specifically on the internet, be prepared to have these conversations. Be prepared to have people come at you with every single gun blazing, okay? But you're going to have to be the dude that lets that slide and then finds the common ground to build on, and then has the conversation about reality and perspective. You're going to have to be the one that doesn't just go firing off at everybody that disagrees with you. But in order to get to that place, you have to be loud. You have to jolt their ego into pissing them off enough to come at you, because that's the only way we can get through to people nowadays. Everybody has become so hardened to the quiet conversation that they just they just glance over it. They don't even notice it most of the time. When you're trying to be quiet and nice and gentle about bringing up problems in the Black community, you know, it never works. Where it's like, I think that there's a couple glaring issues in the Black community with crime and violence, and I'd really like to have that conversation. Nobody gives a fuck. But when you come out and you say, hey, well, looks like the fucking EBT community's at it again, everybody is on board now. They want to hear what you have to say. And because you did that, that's where the shock value comes in. You jolt their ego, and it pisses them off enough to come at you. You have to get them out of their shell so that they'll come, so that you can open the door to that conversation. So if you're trying to do this kind of shit, it's not for the fucking soft-hearted. It's not for the Gumby-spined people out there. So, but it does make an incredible amount of difference.
Yeah, and you definitely had to have like leather skin, because, you know, of course, the first thing they're going to fire back at you, they're going to try to insult you. I had somebody, you know, that commented on something that I commented on, and they went right to like saying something about my mom. And it's like, for a lot of people, I mean, if this was like 10 years ago, I would be all over like, fuck you, you know, let's fucking do this. I'll meet you here. But it's like, no, you know, that's just what they resort to now. And that's just expected. I mean, it's like, you know, you can't have conversations with people when all they want to, you know, their rebuttal is a meme, or they automatically want to go into insulting you, or your family or something like that. And it's like, those are the people that will never have a clue whatsoever on what the fuck is going on, or they just don't, you know, they just don't want to, whatever it is. And those are that's a waste of skin.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if that's your rebuttal, you're showing not only how uneducated you are, but just how much of a piece of shit you truly, truly are. And you're just a waste of skin in my eyes.
If you're using memes to try to prove a point, you've already lost. Yeah, you've already lost. If you're trying to use memes to prove a point, you know, when especially it's a point that you disagree with and you're trying to counterpoint somebody. If you hit me with a meme, I'm just gonna put my head in my hand and just shake it, because I just don't understand why you think you should have the fucking ability to speak out loud. You know, it's ridiculous.
Well, I actually did on one of them, because I had one guy, he, you know, was on a No Canes protest or whatever. So I made a comment on, it's like Lake and McHenry County, you know,
the scanner page.
What's happening in Lake and McHenry County, whatever the hell it is. I'm
always on Lake and McHenry County scanner, just talking shit about fucking the McHenry County pedophile lover judges. And
oh yeah, so am I. But I made a post about it, you know, and it's like, okay. And then the first thing that comes up is somebody posts a fucking Trump meme. It's like, okay. And I don't know how many times I got to say this, you know. Yeah, I may lean conservative. Okay. But I don't support politicians at all. I don't support one politician. None. I'm going to vote for who's going to do the best job, but that doesn't mean I support them. But it's like, you know, and then I get the fucking replies back. Oh, you know, I can see by your content, you know, you're a fucking MAGA lover, maggot, blah, blah, blah. It's like, motherfucker, do you see anything on my social media that's pro any politician? No. And you will never find it. What you see is what is going on.
Right.
And I'm calling that shit out. And it's like, I'm sorry, I don't lean to the far left. Like, you might lean to the far left and but it's just like these people, that's how they think they're getting underneath your skin. They think they're making their point by posting a Trump meme or calling you a MAGA or maggot or whatever the hell they want to call you. But it's like, y'all don't know me.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, I've said this numerous fucking times. I don't support politicians. Like, I don't go to McDonald's and go through the drive-thru and support the person handing me my food. I don't go to the grocery store and support the person that's bagging my groceries. I don't support the guy that's doing my oil change. Yes, the money that I spend in these places may very well pay their salaries, but that paying the salary doesn't mean I support them. My tax dollars pay the salary for my politicians. So it's like, y'all need to like realize, like, just, they work for you.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, and I think a big important thing is like, just because if you do fall on one side or the other, doesn't mean you have to support everything that everybody on that side does blindly. Right. Like, I'm not a Trump dick sucker. Like, Trump has done a lot of fucking things that I thought were really good. He's done a lot of fucking things that I'm left scratching my head. Like, what the fuck just happened? This second presidency is nothing like the first. The first one was amazing. Yeah. The second one is a fuck show. I mean, let's be honest, it's a fuck show. There's some really good things happening, but there's some really horrendous shit happening too. So it kind of washes each other out for me. But my thing is I'm allowed to support somebody that overall that's doing something good, and I'm allowed to question when they're doing something bad. Right. Like, I'm allowed to vote for Trump and then hate that he's giving all of our money to Israel. I'm allowed to. I'm allowed to be mad.
Cliff, no, you can't. Right. You can't get mad. You can't get mad that he sold us out to Israel. You just can't do that. You can't say that on this show. You have to be pro-Israel. Come on now. I can't do this show now. I'm leaving.
How fucking dare you? But
how dare you talk about Israel?
It's the same thing. Like, if ghetto piece of shit fucking Jasmine Crockett came out and just said one thing worth a fuck ever, I could get behind her. If she said something worth supporting or did something worth supporting, I would support her on that one thing and hate the rest of her. It's a possibility here. Mm-hmm. This red till I'm dead and blue no matter who has got to fucking end, because that's the fucking problem. And the funny thing about that is it's the red till I'm dead and blue no matter who people that are all saying, we've got to come together. We've got to meet in the middle. And then as soon as you say something that's in the middle, they're like, oh, how dare you? Oh my God, how could you say that? Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
Right? It is fucking ridiculous. Like, Fetterman, when he was running for Senate during that midterms, I got on my show, I blasted him. Yeah. I mean, that guy, he was a fucking tool.
Yeah,
but he still kind of is a tool. I'm not a big fan of him, but I will say I support some of the things that he said.
Yep.
So it's like
he's less tool.
Right. He's less tool because of the one, he's being pro-America. He doesn't believe that calling people Nazis and this and that. Nobody should ever be called Nazi. It doesn't matter the party or anything like that. And mind you, people really need to take a history lesson if they want to continue calling this administration like fascist and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Take a look at, Mussolini and, it's awfully funny. Before I jump off this, Mussolini had the black shirts, right? So the black shirts would go around and, beating up political foes, creating havoc in the towns and all that stuff. It's kind of ironic that we have Antifa, that we're all black.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Kind of taking a page out of that book right there.
Yeah. Anti-fascist is fascism.
Right. But people won't see that because they are not educated in that, or they just see it from one perspective. It's just, but it's like, again, like with Trump and Israel, like, Trump has sold us out to Israel, and it's just, I don't support that. Some of the stuff I support that he's doing. He's, even Bernie Sanders has come out and said that, he's commended Trump on locking down the border the way he has and bashed Biden for not doing that.
Yeah.
And this is fucking Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Poster boy for socialism. Bernie Sanders coming out and saying this. It's like,
right.
Okay, I don't like Bernie Sanders. Never have. I think he's just an old twit that needs to fucking.
He's never had a real job.
No, he needs to go away. But the fact that he said that, I was like, I can get behind you on this one for the first time ever.
Yeah.
But, like Ilnar or Omar, or whatever the fuck her name is,
Omar.
I'll never get behind that dumb bitch.
Yeah,
fuck that.
No. Well, she's openly Somali first. So she said, I hate America. I am all about Somalis. Like, fuck off.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I believe her family was very prominent in Somalia, and they had to leave because of something that happened. So I'm still digging into that part of it a little bit more, but she didn't leave for reasons that she wants people to believe.
Oh, and she married her brother to get him in here, and that's been now officially proven by DNA testing.
Ugh.
So why the fuck is she still here? You're going against our laws because you're not allowed to marry your own sibling, but there's no trouble. You've essentially fraudulently smuggled him into the country, but there's no problems. This is and if there was going to be problems, it would be the white people in our fucking administration that would bring them forth. So they're not doing it. So again, I guess we could revert to white people sell out white people too.
Yep. No, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
all the fucking time.
Yeah, it's getting fucking insane. When you look out across the global landscape, you can see what's happening. You can see all the puzzle pieces coming together and fitting in certain ways that are just, they don't lend themselves well to the good old American, and that's why I say that. That's why I do what I do, because here's the fucking plain and simple truth. I know the white boys, all the white boys, the extreme white boys, they want me to come on here and say that we need to wipe out the black community and get rid of them and fucking put them back in chains or whatever, this and that and the other thing. No, I'll tell you what. I said, I think we need to get them fixed. Like, I think we need to fix the black community, because when it comes to the fucking Jews and the fucking Israeli and the Zog machine, and their culture of enslaving everyone, and the Muzzy murder machine that's coming our way, we're going to need some fucking help. We're like, white people can't handle this shit, because half of the fucking people that are coming out, the white people, are white people in power. So we're going to need some fucking help. And I think the best allies that we could ever see in this world, I think the best allies would be white, black, and brown. Like white, black, Mexican. If we could fucking fix this bullshit between us, and that's not to say that's not to say that it's going to happen easily. It's going to happen quickly, but it is happening. We're seeing this. But and it's also not to say that we got to be best friends, because I do not hide. I'm a separatist. I think we all should be segregated. If you're a parent, the first thing you do when your kids start fucking getting at each other's throats, you separate them. It's just the way it happens. Look at prison. Prison operates on a primal culture of human, right?
Yes.
Like the human's primal culture. And what do you see? Everybody self-segregates. They're just like, I'm to my own, I'm to my own, I'm to my own, I'm to my own, I'm to my own. Everywhere this happens, that this segregation happens, society thrives. Whether it's in prison or it's somewhere else. Society thrives when there's segregation, when everybody is allowed to be tribal, respected because they're tribal, and stay to their own fucking areas. Everything works better. And then those areas learn how to work together, but they don't have to be friends. And I think that's the biggest thing about American society specifically, is that we're forcing relationships on people that don't want relationships. We're forcing white people to love black people, and we don't want to. Right. We're forcing black people to love white people, and we don't want to. We want to love our own. We want to respect our own, and we want to just look at what is respectable about your culture, and we want to take our time in doing that. We want to assess whether we can be friends or not have some fucking overlord come in and tell us we have to be friends or we're a piece of shit, Like
Right,
if
right.
somebody was to tell me, oh, if you don't like him because he fucked a 10-year-old, then you're a piece of shit. Well, happy fucking piece of shit day. This must be my day because I'm going to be a piece of shit for the rest of my life. Let me make up my fucking mind. You know what I mean?
Well, right, right. And it's funny that you even said that, like it's the white community, our white administration, they try to normalize pedophilia.
Yeah.
And it's the white people that are trying to normalize that. It's like, that is sick as fuck. What the hell is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, well, and I mean, Epstein's Island, Epstein's list. That's why that list don't come out, and that's it. Nobody that's the thing is like nobody gives a fuck about the Epstein list to see who he had business dealings with. That's not part of it. We all want to see the Epstein list to see who was fucking the kids.
Well, why don't we go? How about this? We know Epstein he was arrested. He was charged. He went through court documents, court cases and stuff. We know that there's court documents that show, because the charges that he had, conspiracy to traffic minors and for, having sex with minors. So we know that if you're trafficking to somebody, they have the names of the people that they were being trafficked to. So why don't they show the court documents of the people that they were being trafficked to? Instead of, everybody's hung up on the Epstein list, or the files, whatever, however you want to put it. It's like, okay, which files do you want to see? Do you want to see his business dealings? What do you want to see? I say go for the court documents, because I think the court documents are going to show us more of what we want to know, and can't really, it can be doctored, but at least we'll actually get some fucking names.
Well, and the other thing when it comes to the Epstein list is, he was in jail. Ghislaine Maxwell, Ghislaine, whatever the fuck her name is, she's in prison for trafficking. But now Trump acts like everybody's a fucking asshole for even believing the list is real. Well, you got two motherfuckers that are in prison because of it. One's dead because of it. And you're going to sit here and tell me that it ain't real?
Fun fact. Do you know Maxwell used to work for Disney?
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. Because it wasn't Robert Maxwell, one of the biggest fucking talent people on earth or some shit, as well as a fucking Mossad agent. Yeah.
She was a talent agent for Disney.
Yeah.
For all the kids.
Shocking.
Yeah, go figure, right?
She was probably one of the ones too that were spearheading shutting down Corey Feldman when he went on his when he started trying to tell everybody about what happened in Hollywood. And for me, like, Corey Feldman is
unique.
No, I want to say what he really is, and unique is one, but he's a goddamn train wreck. He is. He's a spectacle. That's where I'm going with this. He's a spectacle, and it's sad. I see him playing guitars in his band, and he's fucking terrible at it. He's got his shirt off, and he doesn't have the body to have his shirt off. He's kind of, it feels like he has that air of like losing it all the way now. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing is, I respect the fuck out of that dude. I absolutely respect the fuck out of that dude, because he is one of the only ones that has been saying this from the beginning. So his career ended over it because he wanted to tell people that he was getting fucked literally by half half the scouts and talent agents. You had to fuck people, you had to blow people, you had to do all these fucking weirdo shit things to get any of these roles, and he wanted to get the word out, and they fucking stifled him. I'm surprised he's alive, to be honest with you. But his whole story is very, very sad. But it goes to show you that they don't give a fuck about who loses what, who feels what, who knows what. They don't give a fuck. They will do anything to anybody at any time as long as it benefits them. Yep.
Well, you can go as far back as Corey Haim as well. Corey Haim went through a lot of shit. Those two, I think, were the stars in the 80s, they went through a lot of shit, and you see them today, they're not the same people, obviously.
Well, Haim's dead, he's definitely.
Corey Haim's dead, but he had his issues with drugs, alcohol, and that just seems like. Right, it is. It just seems like, but that is the norm for that era for those children, because they were going through all this shit, and it wasn't, nobody knew. I know Feldman has called out Charlie Sheen on a lot of shit, but of course, nothing will ever happen to Charlie Sheen because of who Charlie Sheen is and who his dad is and how high up in that culture they are.
Right.
So nothing will ever happen. And I think a lot with this list, you would see a lot of those people on it. And you almost kind of have to wonder because they were about to take a vote in Congress about releasing the documents. And then all of a sudden the government got shut down.
Yeah, the Democrats blocked it. The Democrats fucking blocked releasing the list. And then they shut down the fucking government.
Well,
because they want the illegals to get all the shit that citizens can't.
I know back, what was it, a couple of years ago when this was like really on the forefront, when Maxwell was going through everything. I know like Senator Durbin, he was like the final like blocking it,
Right.
I thought this time around, I think the Democrats came up with something that they wanted to do. But of course, I mean, they're going to sit there and say the Republicans blocked it. But I know the Democrats have blocked it a lot, and it's like, okay, well, if you keep blocking it, what are you redacting? Or what are you, it's like, can we fully trust whatever list comes out from our government?
Right.
We're never going to be able to trust it.
Well, and you know what? The big mind-boggling thing for me is being on the side of things that I'm on mentally in life and, associating with the people I associate with. There's this half of the country, at least half of the country, is always saying, storm the Capitol. It's going to take is this, and we're all going to be on the fucking steps of the Capitol with our guns, wanting answers. Okay, so now so many things have happened throughout the course of the time here, even during our lives, that should have sparked that movement to let's all walk across the country and hit the Capitol building, okay? And get on, and not to say blow it up or do anything, nefarious, but let's make our fucking selves known and let's demand answers and not do anything not leave until we get them. But we're always hearing these motherfuckers out here, wow, we're going to storm the Capitol. If this happens, nothing ever happens to make us storm the Capitol. And I can't believe that the Epstein list wasn't the thing, because everywhere you look, should have been. Everywhere you look, even leftists, when it comes to the Epstein list, release the list. We want to see who is fucking kids. And then they say what? Over and over again, we can't release the list because it will endanger national security. If everybody on that fucking list, that means everybody on that fucking list is in charge of our national security, in charge of our government. Why is that not the fucking straw that broke the camel's back? Why is knowing that everybody in our government is fucking little kids and making hundreds of millions of dollars on the sly through fucking business deals, shady fucking stock trades, all this other stuff, insider trading? How is it that list, it outs everything for everybody? Right. But nobody's like, yeah, we should storm the Capitol now. No, it's going to be the next thing. Oh, let them say this and then we'll do that. Like, nothing's ever going to fucking happen. And I'm fucking tired of hearing people say it is.
Yeah. Well, and that also goes on social media when you try to have an open dialogue, open conversation with somebody, and especially someone on the left, the first thing that they pop up, show us the Epstein list. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Can you honestly sit there and, and again, can you trust whatever list that our government releases is going to be heavily redacted? There's going to be things that have probably been put in there by both the Democrat side and the Republican side, or taken away. So you'll never know exactly who or what is on in those documents. That's why I say go for the court, demand the court documents for Maxwell, because with all the charges she has, you can start to piece things together that way. And with the Jeffrey Epstein, it's funny because like Epstein, when he was on house arrest for like 18 months, and then they're trying to link him now to Israel, Mossad.
Well, he is a Mossad agent. I mean, everybody fucking knows that. They don't know it, but they know it. You know what I mean? Air quotes. Right.
Yeah. No. So, and that's probably why he got the deal that he got, where it was a pretty sweet fucking deal when he first got arrested down in Florida. Real sweet. He didn't have to worry about anything. And it's just, maybe people need to ask to see a different form. Like, again, ask to see a different form of a document instead of hyper focusing on your Epstein files. Because I mean, that's just being, honestly, in my opinion, just being there just to continue the divide.
Distraction.
It has divided. Yeah, it has divided everybody. It's a huge distraction, and people are just hyper focused on it. But the fact that Trump is getting angry about it a lot is like, oh, because I remember I saw an interview that he's like, oh, this stuff is still going on. That raises a lot of questions for me.
Yeah,
it really does.
Not only questions, but extreme suspicions. When the fucking guy that ran on outing everything is now not outing anything. Like, it's not now. Maybe I'll give the caveat to my Trump dick sucker friends out there that maybe this is all part of the 4D chess you guys keep talking about.
I don't see it. But
I don't see it, and I'm pretty good at 4D and 5D and 60 and 1200D chess. I don't see it, but maybe it is, and maybe one day, just to cover my own ass, maybe one day something will come out and everything will start to make sense about what's going on. Well, but I don't know
that's not going to happen.
No,
that's never going to happen. I mean, look at JFK. The documents that they released. I mean, it has Mossad in there quite a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, but we all kind of knew that for a long time. So, but it's no new information that we already didn't fucking know.
Yeah. And why do we not know where George Herbert Walker Bush was, or whatever the fuck his name was, during that time? He was the only person in the United States that wasn't accounted for, and he was a hitman for the government. It's insane.
Shh, don't tell people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. We're not supposed to let that stuff out now. Yeah, it's absolutely fucking insane. The divide and distraction that this country suffers from person to person, regardless of religion and creed and culture and all that, and all the way down into, race relations and religious relations. I think in the 80s, the late 80s is when we really saw things at the height. In the early 90s, at the height of the greatness. I think that's the early 90s, especially. I think is where we were getting to a point where white people and black people just got along, and that's why we had to light the fire on that to stop that from happening. Because could you imagine from the early 90s to 2025, if race relations had continued course in the positive direction they were heading to, could you imagine how little power the government would have over us today? Of course they can't have that.
No, we can't have that. That's blasphemy. We can't talk like that. The government has to have complete control over you,
right,
and everything you do. So, and that's so they just spin up the rhetoric even more.
Yeah, and I can't believe people fucking buy it. I just can't believe people are still buying this shit.
Well, if they're watching any news source, that's why they're still buying it.
Yeah,
it's state media. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, our media, it's not fair. It's not. Oh, yeah. It's run by the state. Let's just be honest.
Every single country on earth has a cultivated internet and a cultivated news cycle. That means the state and the people that own the fucking state run the fucking articles they want the way they want them run. There's a reason why only 6 companies own every media company on earth. Like, you really think you're going to get a different story out of this station and that station and that station, and they're all owned by the same guy that hates the people that those stations are talking to? Go fuck yourself. You're delusional.
Well, then you got to follow the money. Then you look at all their investors, and 3 of the primary investors in all the major news networks are BlackRock, Vanguard,
State Street.
It's like you got to follow the fucking money to understand.
Yeah.
And when those companies that basically run the world, whatever they want, they get.
Yeah.
And people just don't, again, blinders, they don't want to realize it.
Well, and people got to understand that when we hear them, and dude, it doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter what gender you are, it doesn't matter what age you are. We hit the internet and we see these fucking people lying to us, and every one of us knows it. We talk about it. They're fucking up there fucking lying to us. They're writing history. This is what you have to understand. So when you see these motherfuckers that are just blatantly lying to the masses, They don't give a fuck about what you think because they know you're going to forget tomorrow. They know they've got something else coming down the pipeline that's going to make you forget all about what they said today. But 20 years, 50 years from now, they can quote that day and say, and he was out here saying this, and the other thing, and he's the greatest person to ever want to run this country. And so they're writing history as they go. That's that. And I think that's a big problem for a lot of people, why they don't understand what's actually happening, because people are they're now oriented. They are immediate gratification oriented. People will not do something that is very, very difficult and time consuming if they themselves don't get to see the payout for it. And so that's why they have a hard time wrapping their head around what's happening with, the government and all this shit, is because they can't fathom a world where so many thousands of people will work to a goal but never see it come to fruition, but always spend their lives working towards it.
Right. Yeah. And that's just the way it is. I'm a firm believer in, if, rule of thumb, if your media and your politicians are all on the same page, they're lying to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're hiding something.
Yeah.
So don't believe what they're saying, what they're trying to sell. If they're all on the same page, and this even goes with celebrities, the celebrities that get behind it. When you align all three of those and they're all fucking aligned and they're all agreeing on everything, it's a bunch of horse shit. Like the Maui fires, everything that happened to Maui, everybody was on the same fucking thing. They're full of shit.
Yeah.
And funny how it's out of the news cycle. And funny how we have weaponry, direct energy weapons that's proven that can do what happened over there.
Yep.
And it's also funny that nothing blue seemed to burn.
Yeah.
I mean, you can, but again, but then that dropped out of the news cycle because people were starting to question. So it automatically drops out of the news cycle. And now we got to come up with the next big thing to keep them distracted. Now we bring in the fires in LA, and when you look at these different areas that like this kind of shit has happened, when everybody's on the same thing, you got to follow the money. Like, they're having the Olympics over in LA. They want to build this utopia in LA and all of those areas that had those fires. And same thing with Maui. It's like, look up like your 15-minute cities, and then maybe you'll start putting things together a little bit better.
Well, it's like North Carolina, everybody, everybody's like, oh my God, North Carolina, it's such a horrible tragedy. Oh my God. And then it took a couple of us to whisper, hey, you know that there's a giant lithium mine right underneath where all of that happened. You know that? Did you know that? Did you know that? And then they go, ooh. And then everybody started talking about, well, why would this catastrophe happen in this particular area? And why? And it sure is such a coincidence that one of the world's largest lithium mines is right under where all this devastation happened. And it's awfully odd that we're not giving any money to the people to rebuild their land and their homes and their lives. I wonder what this could be about. It's about lithium, people.
Well, and also let's not forget, just before that, wasn't it the Biden administration that mandating electric vehicles?
Yeah. So like 2035, every fucking vehicle has to be electric or it's not going to be able to.
Well, that's a whole WEF thing. But that's a different topic for another show.
Yeah.
I don't think your listeners are going to be able to handle bringing everything out of the box at once.
Right.
To understand the WEF, and that whole thing with the go electric, you'll own nothing to be happy. And
Project 2030, baby.
Yeah. When you start to think about it and look at what's going on in society right now, it's like, it's all lining up.
Yeah. Maybe we'll talk about that next time. But let's wrap this one up. We're pushing almost an hour and a half here. Man, it feels like 15 minutes.
Right. It doesn't even seem like it's been that long.
Right. It feels like it's been 15 minutes. Guys, if you want to help me out, get these truths out, get this word out, you can follow me on Instagram, SavagelyLOUD page. That is where I'm most active. On that page, you're going to find 2 links. One of those links is to the Savagely Loud podcast page. If you could please follow me there too, it would be greatly appreciated. The other link you're going to find is simply a link tree. Anywhere you want to hear me ranting, You can find it there. Or see me ranting. You can find it there. Outside of that, you can follow me, Facebook, X, and Rumble, as well as Substack now at Savagely Loud. You can follow me on YouTube at SavagelyLOUD Podcast, and you can email me in at SavagelyLOUD@gmail.com. And don't forget to like, share, and comment. Don't forget to hit the bell. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, do all that shit. Rate the shows, please. I'm begging you guys, rate the show. Wherever you listen to it, rate the show. Give me a good rating, 5-star rating. Helps me get this word out, helps me get this truth out. And that being said, let's real quick on that email factor. Email me in how you feel about maybe having Dave Anderson, the big bad Viking, come on in here and be a co-host on one of the weekly shows, one of the weekly episodes that I do. Let me know how you feel about that. You guys seem to receive him very, very well. You seem to receive this conversation very, very well last time. Let me know what you think again, and maybe we can talk to Viking into coming back every single fucking week for an episode. Mr. Viking, Mr. Dave Anderson, tell them where they can find you.
Well, you can find me. I was about to make a dirty joke. I won't do it.
Why not? This is my shit show. Make that joke.
All right. You can find me on top of your mom.
Ah, there it is. OnlyFans, DaveAnderson.com, whatever. I don't know how those addresses work.
But on a serious note, you can find me all over social media. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, 3 of the spots I'm most heavily active on. And in my bios, you can find that little link tree that will bring you to my YouTube, bring you to all the other places where you can also listen to the podcast on Apple, iTunes, whatever you want to call it, and Spotify. I'm also actually on Substack as well at the Hammer Drops. There I have a lot of different articles I've written. You can also find those same articles on my website at thehammerdrops.com.
Sweet. So, and stay off my mom. Her ashes are going to stick to your dick. Trust me.
Damn it.
Don't ask me how I know.
We white people are sick fucks.
Sick fucks. And that being said, let's bring ourselves out of sick fuck world, sick fuck mentality, and do the little fucking thing I like to do at the end of every show. We get so far into the deep fucking sticky wickets of shit. We don't want to walk away feeling like shit, all amped up, all angry. So let's get to our Hopelessly Human segment that starts a little bit like...
People can be really rough. They can be quite tough. They can get in the way, but at the end of the day, some aren't only stupid, some are hopelessly human.
Fuck yeah, they are. Some are hopelessly human. I got a short one from you. This one's from BuzzFeed. It's titled "A Grateful Tribute for a Veteran." We went to have all-you-can-eat steamed crabs at a local seafood joint here in Maryland. It was a nice break from our grandchildren that we raise. A friendly gent next to us asked my husband if he was in the Marines. He was wearing a T-shirt with USMC on it. He said, and he replied that he was in the Marines. They chatted on and off while I enjoyed my steamed crab. He and his family got up and thanked my hubby for his service. After they left, the waitress came over and said that the man and his family had paid for our meal. I will forever remain grateful and humbled by this experience. We have paid uniformed military tabs a time or two, paid for the car behind us in toll booths or a fast food joint, but have never had it happen to us. It is an incredible, amazing feeling. Guys, it might sound simple on the face of it, but doing things like this, just simply paying for somebody's meal out of a place of gratitude, can absolutely 100% change people's lives. That's Hopelessly Human, and that's the show.